Charlotte has been in the news so much that people are starting to ask, who the heck is Charlotte? Well, Charlotte was the Queen of England when we the people declared our independence. She was married to King George III. Okay, so what was so special about Charlotte that people have chosen to orchestrate political rallies using racial rhetoric? Queen Charlotte was also part black. All this was well known at the time and has been reported on by the mainstream media. The riddle of Queen Charlotte's African ancestry was solved as a result of an earlier investigation into the Black Magi featured in 15th century Flemish paintings. Enough evidence was accumulated to propose that the models for the Black Magi were, in all probability, members of the Portuguese de Sousa family. The Negroid characteristics of the Queen's portraits certainly had political significance, since artists of that period were expected to play down, soften, or even obliterate undesirable features in a subject's face. Thus, from just a cursory look at the social awareness and political activism at that level of English society, it would be surprising if the Queen's Negroid physiognomy was of no significance to the abolitionist movement. Dr. Joyce Hemlow, who obtained at least half a dozen quotes by her contemporaries regarding her Negroid features, where he described her as having a true mulatto face. Perhaps the most literary of these allusions to her African appearance, however, can be found in the poem penned to her on the occasion of her wedding to George III. Descended from the warlike Vandal race, she still preserves that title in her face. Though shown their triumphs over Numidia's plain, and Aleutian fields their name retain, they but subdue the southern world with arms, she conquers still with her triumphant charms. Oh, born for rule, to whose victorious brow the greatest monarch of the north must bow. Charlotte was the 8th child of the Prince of Miro, Germany, Charles Louis Frederick, and his wife Elizabeth Albertina of Saxe-Hildburghausen. She married George III of England on September 8, 1761, at the Chapel Royal in St. James's Palace, becoming the Queen of England and Ireland. The conditions of the marriage contract were: the young princess join the Anglican Church and be married according to Anglican rites, and never ever involve herself in politics. Queen Charlotte made many contributions to Britain as it is today, though the evidence is not obvious or well publicized. Queen Charlotte was a learned character. Her letters indicate that she was well read and had interests in the fine arts. The Queen is known to have supported and been taught music by Johann Christian Bach. She was extremely generous to Bach's wife after Bach's death. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, at age 8, dedicated his Opus 3 piece to the Queen at her request. There was a wealth of positive symbolism that had been attributed to the Black African figure during the Middle Ages.